media, and more, log on to KBLA.store. Be sure to check out our KBLA team favorites at KBLA.store today. That's KBLA.store for all the official merch on your favorite talk radio station, KBLA Talk 1580.
The bounce is back.
Hell yeah. You know what I'm saying? Yeah.
Mr. Buster, where you at? Can't scrap a lick, so I know you got your gat. Just stay on hard from ganking your road dogs. The hood you grew up with, homies you grew up with. Don't even respect you. So now it's time for the doctor to check your fool. Used to be my homie, used to be my ace. Now I wanna slap the taste out your mouth, make it bow down to the road. Ganking me, now I'm
Listen.
ganking you, little hoe. Oh, don't think I forgot. Let you
There were
slide.
some bangers.
Let me ride. Just
I
to
tell
make
you
my
what,
homicide.
beats,
Yes, me, so I'ma
lyrics,
walk on, stomping on the
clowns,
streets that you can walk on.
it was all there. It was all there. Welcome to Hour 3 of RSVP with Jill Munroe here live on KBLA Talk 1580. I want to give a shout out to the chat because they came with some more diss tracks that they felt should be in contention. Brother Alfonso mentioned Remy Ma and what she did a couple years ago. Sheether. I don't know. Like, there were some lines in there, but I don't know overall about the song quality.
It was like ether. To me, it was like elementary, just insults.
Yeah.
Typical insults. But I ain't gonna front. I mean, she came for Nicki.
She did.
She came for her.
But what I will say, though, is your girl Nicki, when she gets in her bag and she drops those disses sometimes, you know, it hurts.
Nah.
I will tell you who really does, though. Whoever writes for Cardi. Whoever's putting some of Cardi's lyrics down. Listen, put your bestie in a pack. I'm smoking her too.
I'm glad you said that.
What that point? Listen, we know that Cardi doesn't write. I'm okay with it at this point.
Because I was like, this album is too hard. And I'm just like, no disrespect, not saying that she's not capable, but I'm just like, I know she got a team of writers with some of these songs.
We know she does. We know she does. Like, look, I respect Cardi. Cardi, delivery is half the battle, and people take that out. Your voice, your diction, how you ride the beat, that all goes into creating a song. Because we've seen, not necessarily with hip-hop, we've heard some reference tracks, but we've seen with regular songs that one artist recording them, like they say, oh, this was really meant for this artist, but this person ended up getting it. And you see the difference and you're like, nope, it ended up exactly where it should have been. Would not have been a hit had the other person necessarily recorded it. So Cardi is not getting any shade from me. She does her thing. She just doesn't write her thing. And where we are in hip hop, that is okay.
I'm okay with it too.
So Ben Frank says, we forgot Dog Pound with Jewel. What would you do? That is a song. All I think about is, what was the movie with the Dog Pound tour where Corrupt was going DP, DP, DP to kick it off? That's a good song. What would you do is the song.
Banger.
And Kamal Allah said, Kwamel. I'm sorry, Kwamel. I'm going to get it right. But see, every time you come to the chat, you remind me. So keep that up. I appreciate it. So The Bridge is Over, BDP. Another
Classic.
Very good one.
Classic.
Roxanne Shante is only good for study. MC, okay. Yeah.
Classic.
Okay. So there are some contenders out there. There's the top 10 list is amazing. Shout out to Pretty Brown Mimi. She said, Hour 3, DJ Mustard has a great lawyer. So we're going to get into it. Pretty Brown Mimi already knows the story. We're going to talk about that in a second. But before we get into DJ Mustard's success tale, we must talk about A$AP Rocky. Now, I mentioned that he performed this weekend at Rolling Loud Miami as well. You know, we talked about Offset performing and having his Michael Jackson moment. Cardi, his wife, hitting the stage with him, as well as, you know, Little Dirty Diana mixed into the mix. So, day 3, July 23rd, yesterday, A$AP Rocky headlined the final night of Rolling Loud. During his set, he previewed 3 new songs from his upcoming album, Don't Be Dumb, which Andy says is going to go to the moon because he is the baby daddy to Rihanna, We'll have to see. I think it's definitely a possibility. But there's one song in particular that he performed on Sunday that many believe is aimed at another artist out there. So this is some of the lyrics that were included. He said, "First you stole my flow, so I stole your B. Then you stole my style. I need at least 10%. So the people, the internet, the detectives, some were wondering, is he talking to Chris Brown? Some were wondering, what other name did I hear out there? Can't remember what the second name I heard. But it's pretty clear who he's talking to. He's talking to Travis Scott. And if you think about it, this isn't the first time that A$AP Rocky has sent out a little shout out to Travis Scott. We know that there was a period of time where Travis and Rihanna were good friends, maybe dating. I'm assuming that that is the young lady in question that A$AP is saying that he took. We know A$AP used to wear his plaits a certain way. We know Travis kind of rocks his hair similarly. We know there was a thing, I think back in the day, something about A$AP's plaid that he used to rock, his flannels and Jordans, the way that he used to put it together. So obviously A$AP has had his eye on what is happening with Travis for quite a while. Last May, he appeared on an episode of Drink Chops with Noor and DJ Effin, and he was discussing how he felt Travis took his whole style. He said, "You're hearing it from me. I let Shorty rock and let the people decide if he's a biter or if he's authentic. I'm not saying everybody should be on my side, but look at it." So what do you think? Do we think that Travis kind of borrowed and dipped and dived in it? And then the second question is, excuse me, I know it's hip hop, but that's your child's mother. I don't have a particular problem with it if Rihanna doesn't, but is that how we should shout her out? I don't know. But listen, this story doesn't end with this. It continued on. Because like I said, there were some questions as to who A$AP was actually talking to. Well, there's a rapper named Ian Connor. And Ian, he's had some issues, some accusations thrown at him. But he decided he was going to press A$AP through social media. He wanted to hit him up and say, who were you talking to exactly? A$AP backed off of it, and maybe that's because he really wasn't talking about him. He was talking about Travis, and it doesn't have anything to do with Ian. But some of the fans, they felt that A$AP let Ian get away with punking him through text. Ian, of course, the way that we know about all of this is he immediately went to social media like, look what I did, look what happened, look what was said. I don't know, this whole exposure culture, it's a bit much, don't you think? I thought that these were moves that didn't necessarily need to be made. Why are you showing this conversation? Ian ends the conversation with, "Tell them folks that, Flocka. I look brazy." Yes, brazy, not crazy, so you know what they're on. "Even if it's mistaken. I've been out here doing good, staying sucker-free to minimal BS, and now I'm all over the place. You taking shots at Barry. Instant karma maybe, but I can't dig that." So we'll have to see how that plays out, but looks like everybody is getting offended. We'll see if it plays out in music. We'll see what happens with it. When we come forward, we're going to get into what a plastic surgeon is saying is a result of the SAG-AFTRA strike. It's pretty interesting. We're also going to talk about Florida A&M and what's going on with all of their football-related activities. I told you we're going to talk about DJ Mustard and a couple of other things. All that and more, you're listening to RSVP with Jill Munroe on KBLA Talk 1580.
Trending topics and the hottest happenings. You're listening to RSVP with Jill Munroe on KBLA Talk 1580.
Some people won't give you the real talk on drugs, but it's time we know the facts. Fentanyl is killing people. It's a powerful opioid, often made illegally and commonly mixed with illicit drugs. It can even be pressed into counterfeit pills that resemble prescription medications. Just 2 milligrams, about the size of a few grains of sand, can potentially be lethal. This isn't an ad to scare you, but it is an ad to make you think twice. Get the facts. Go to realdealonfentanyl.com. This message is brought to you by the Ad Council.
Cashback is not available on gas in New Jersey and Wisconsin.
Billy, your gas light's on. We need to stop and fill up.
No way, Jen. Gas around here is too expensive. We can make it a little further.
Billy, listen to your big sister. You don't need to drive all over searching for the lowest gas prices. Do what I do and use Upside.
Upside?
Do you live under a rock, Billy? Upside is the hottest cashback app out there. It's free to download, and you get real cash back for every gallon of gas you buy. I use it all the time, and I've already made around $200.
You can make that kind of cash back just for buying the gas you have to buy anyway?
Yes, I'm looking at the Upside app now, and there's a gas station at the next exit offering 25 cents per gallon cash back.
Okay, I'm stopping to download Upside and fill up my tank. Download the free Upside app now to earn cash back every time you buy gas. Use promo code PUMP to get an extra 25 cents per gallon on your first tank. You can cash out anytime right to your bank, to PayPal, or a gift card for Amazon and other brands. Just download the free Upside app and use promo code PUMP for a 25 cents per gallon bonus on your first tank. That's code PUMP for a 25 cents per gallon bonus.
KBLA Talk 1580. We've got a lot to talk about.
KBLA Talk 1580, connecting you with services and solutions. South Central Youth Empowered Through Action is the youth component of the impactful CBO, known as the Community Coalition. South Central Youth Empowered Through Action has chapters at almost every South LA high school. Say Yeah, as they are popularly known, is located at 80th and Vermont, but serves young people all over South LA. Under the COCO umbrella, they train youth organizers, help underserved scholars prepare for college, and work with students to help them gain admission to top universities. South Central Youth Empowered Through Action fosters teen activism, where young people have led campaigns moving tens of millions of dollars to South LA schools and forcing officials to make AP classes available to students in under-resourced institutions. SCEL scholars have taken part in the March on Washington, been published in major news outlets, and been elected to city council. Long before she was mayor, Karen Bass started the program when she founded the Community Coalition. To donate, volunteer, or enroll a student in South Central Youth Empowered Through Action, please visit cocsouthla.org. cocsouthla.org. This is a community call to action from KBLA Talk 1580.
Keeping you informed, entertained, and always ahead of the curve. This is RSVP with Jill Munroe on KBLA Talk 1580.
Hey VIPs, you are checking out RSVP with Jill Munroe right here live on KBLA Talk 1580. And I said that we would get into some things, and we still have a lot to discuss. These trending topics and headlines just beat us down from the weekend. So I want to talk to you a little bit about some information a plastic surgeon shared about a phenomenon that is happening because of the SAG strike. So this particular plastic surgeon said that allegedly, several big name celebs, and this is according to Allure magazine, are taking care of a little thing, a little nip, a little tuck. Why? Because when one door closes, another one opens. And though the strikes have shut down production, plastic surgeon offices have allegedly been jammed. And the reason why, so let me be clear, right? This is not the majority of actors, actresses, writers. They're talking about the upper echelons of this union, not the journeyman actors, not the regular writers that are just kind of in there, holding on. We're talking about the bigger names, the above the title talent. So what this work stoppage has become is the perfect opportunity to get a little nip tuck, to get a little refresher done. Why? Because when the cameras start rolling again, they'll look refreshed. After all, it looks like this strike is going to be going on for a minute. So if you could get a little laser resurfacing going on, get some fillers popping off, a little rhinoplasty done, maybe a little lipo, BBL, if you're really adventurous, you could always get the athletic one. Apparently, they have been running it up at the plastic surgeon. So Catherine Chang, she's a board certified plastic surgeon in Los Angeles. She said she's seen a significant increase in Hollywood patients booking appointments. She says that it first started around May, around the time of the writer's strike, and said that she's also had several producers that are calling in. But once the SAG strike was called, she said the floodgates opened up and there's been so many requests coming down, and that they usually understand that, people will come in for a little refresher. But right now, how often do they have the opportunity to take time off and utilize this time to get some things done? So the procedures that are topping the list, well, facial procedures like facelifts, upper and lower eyelid lifts, brow lifts, and those are the things that are a little more obvious because they're on your face. So the downtime for these surgeries can be a little more discreet, but it shows. So it's nothing you can do. They're not whimsical decisions. She said that they have been thinking about them for quite a long time, but they don't know how long the strike is going to go on, so they want to act quickly and make sure that they can get it in. She said the last time that she's seen something like this was during the pandemic lockdown. People were spending more time on Zoom calls, staring at their own faces, so there was a run-up in plastic surgery. So what say you? If you had a couple of months off, are you interested in, getting a little tweak? Tony Yayo on the track says, I'm sure Tom Cruise is getting a refresher. Dude needs to do a Mission Impossible till he's 80. I heard that, but does he really need to have the surgery anymore? If you've ever seen the picture of Tom Cruise, and we talked about this when we were talking about body doubles and clones involving Mr. Fox, Tom's doubles look exactly like them. And the rumor actually is that he had one or both get some surgery so that they would look even closer to him. It's uncanny. It's really kind of interesting. I mean, to your point, what happens when Tom starts acting? I guess then you could just be an impersonator, right? Right. So anyway, let's talk about Florida A&M football. All football-related activities have been suspended because of an unauthorized rap video filming in the team locker room that contained explicit lyrics. After all, what other kind of rap is there, really? Coach Willie Simmons announced last Friday night that hours after Send a Blitz, which is a song from the rapper Real Boston Richie, that featured several players. It was shot in the locker room. He had on the Florida A&M helmet. He had on some swag. And all of that violates the agreements. It violates the use of licensed apparel for Florida A&M. It violates their morality clauses. So the coach said, while he supports free speech and musical expression, the language in the video is not consistent with Florida A&M's core values, principles, or beliefs. So there's an investigation into exactly how the locker room was accessed for the filming of this video and who put it together. The season starts in a couple of weeks. NFL training camps open this week and next week, so college is not too far behind. We'll have to see what happens. Do you think that's fair? Do you think that all football-related activities should be suspended just because of a video? I mean, where are we at? I'm sure they play that type of music in the locker room, right? But it is their branding, and they are allowed to be as picky as they want as how it was displayed. I should add that this rapper he's local to the Jacksonville area where the college is, and he performed at their homecoming activities, I believe, last year. So he's not unfamiliar to the program, but maybe not appropriate in this instance. Okay, so we mentioned DJ Mustard, and we're going to get into that. But first, I'm going to share what Pretty Brown Mimi dropped in the chat. She said, DJ Mustard has a great lawyer. This is why. DJ Mustard was married for not married for many years, but with his now ex-wife for many years. She, held him down. They, got in the trenches together. She was in the garage with him when he was there making his tracks, working hard to establish himself as a producer, as a DJ on the scene. And, sometimes things don't work out. But the divorce proceedings, they got a little complicated. But this is a shout out for all you men. DJ Mustard scored a victory. He seems to have prevailed. So Chanel was asking for $80,000 a month in child support. They have 3 children, and she wanted to make sure that the children's lifestyle was maintained at both residences. Between the legal back and forth, Chanel claimed that despite DJ Mustard's motion to have the payment set at $23,000 a month, it's not enough, and he can provide more financial assistance for the children, as he often brags about his lavish lifestyle on social media. Well, the judge decided to side with DJ Mustard, and he reportedly ordered Mustard to pay, still not a small amount, but much different from the $80,000 that Chanel was seeking, $24,000 a month in child support payments. And there also was a lump sum payment that was given to Chanel of $315,000. $315,000, yeah. In addition to all that, DJ Mustard gets to keep all of his assets. That includes cars, properties, jewelry, and music royalties. So, $315,000 lump sum and $23,000 a month payment. I know that people are probably thinking, $23,000 a month? That's amazing. Why is she complaining? But I guess she feels that she contributed more to the marriage and she stood by him, and now, he's going to walk away with all of it. So we'll see what happens, but that is where it stands now. Good luck to Chanel. I mean, here's the thing. You got to move on sometime. It seems as if Mustard had a prenup and it was pretty airtight. Need to get it over with and keep it moving. Pretty Brown Mimi says DJ Mustard got over. I'm sorry, he just did. He had a great lawyer. And I guess Mimi is siding with the wife. She feels that that's not a fair judgment. And she also says that compared to what his net worth is, it's not fair. The wife is suffering. So that's what happens sometimes, though, when you are building for someone else, especially in relationships. Sometimes those feelings change. So good luck to Chanel. We're keeping it solid out there. D Queen says this is about FAMU. D Queen says they need a break from their routines, plus they're getting offers. So they need to venture. Lord, are you ready for some football? Listen. Some people wouldn't have a problem with it, but I think the big thing is here, there's a protocol. There's always a protocol, and you know how sensitive it is as far as licensing. You know what the rules are. I believe the team even has to sign some type of agreement, going in, that they'll adhere to all the rules and things like that. So we'll see what happens, and I mean, surely they have to restore football-related activities, right? They're not just going to let them play out this season and not participate because of one video. But I guess, football's a team thing, so can't just pin it on one person, and maybe they aren't talking. So we'll have to see how all of that turns out. Speaking of the SAG after strike, your boy Dwayne Johnson is not just a hero on film. Listen, we know, as mentioned, the majority of the membership of the SAG-AFTRA union are not A-list actors and actresses. They're not pulling down 7 and 8 figures per film. They're not getting those back-end sweet production deals. They are just working actors and actresses, trying to make it through the best that they can. So when the strike was announced, they're preparing for hardship. So here's the thing. During the work stoppage, Courtney B. Vance, Angela Bassett's husband, he's the president of the SAG-AFTRA Foundation, and their executive director, Sid Wilson, drafted a letter to 2,700 of the union's highest earning actors outlining the financial need that many would face in the work stoppage. Having been through this during the COVID pandemic, they said, and having such a great response for our own membership to take care of their own, when the strike was decided, Courtney and Sid sat down with their team and felt, here we go again. So they came to their, again, highest paid members, 2,700 of the $160,000 members, 160,000 membership group. So here's the thing. They rarely rely on donations and grants to provide services. They've been fortunate to raise enough money to cover it all. But this strike, as we heard, allegedly the producers are going for the jugular. You know, they indicated that they were going to try and starve out the writers, wait till they started losing their homes, etc., before they go back to the negotiating table. Same theory for the actors and actresses. So a lot of them are going to need help. So the foundation grants that the SAG-AFTRA Foundation offers are $1,500 per individual member that's available to them. But if there are other situations, health issues, etc., a lifetime member can receive up to $6,000 in emergency financial assistance. So Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson donated, they're not saying the exact figure, but enough to cover 7,000 to 10,000 members should they need those services. So shout out to The Rock. We know he makes a lot of money, and he's a Taurus, so shout out to that big Taurus heart. Him wanting to support his fellow actors and actors during their times of need. He gets nothing out of this. It doesn't benefit him. It's not it might be a tax write-off, but we don't know how much. But it's just being there, standing in support, wrapping your brothers in arms, and taking them up. So shout out to Dwayne Johnson. We appreciate that. And hopefully, you know, those that are in need, they can get the help that is required and they can keep fighting the good fight. So our next topic is an interesting one. You know, we see a lot of YouTube pranks happening. We see them going viral. We see them all over the place. But is there a line? Of course there is. But is there a line at public events as far as what is disrespectful? How far would you go to get a laugh? We'll talk about all that and more. You're listening to RSVP with Jill Munroe right here on KBLA Talk 1580.
Wow, wow, yippee yo, yippee yay, doggy dogs definitely in the house. Wow, 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 yippee yo, yippee yay, death row's definitely in the house. Wow, 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 yippee yo, yippee yay, the sounds of a dog brings me to another day. Play with my bone, would you, Timmy? It seems like you're good for making jokes about your Jimmy. Well, here's a Jimmy joke about your mama that you might not like. I heard she was a Frisco dyke, but on the wrist hills, I'm talking about you and me, toe to toe. M-U-T, your bark was loud, but your bite wasn't vicious. And them rhymes you were kicking were quite bootylicious.
Infusing us into fun and entertainment in every episode. You're listening to RSVP with Jill Munroe on KBLA Talk 1580. More when we come forward.
I'm Doug Davis, and here's the latest from the Black Information Network. Actors are planning for a major rally in the epicenter of New York City tomorrow. Those on strike will take to Times Square for a rally dubbed Rock the City for a Fair Contract. Actors have been on strike since July 14th, joining writers who have been on the picket line since May. Georgia officials are warning the public over a financial scam called pig butchering. The criminals target cryptocurrency investors. The name comes from the fact that the con artists fatten up the victims by feeding them a steady stream of exaggerated information. In Detroit, Michigan, an air quality alert is in place for Tuesday as wildfire smoke from Canada is expected to drift over the southeastern portion of Michigan again. Officials recommend seniors and children stay inside if possible to avoid unhealthy air. And that is the latest. I'm Doug Davis from the Black Information Network and BINnews.com.
Hi, we're Companion Insurance Agency. Never heard of us? We know. But to help it stick that our local agents are insurance experts, we're going to say local agent 3 times in the next 5 seconds. Local agent. Local agent. Local agent.
Find us at comparinginsurance.com.
Gotta stay fresh, my. House shot with a rest bar.
Have you visited us online for the grand opening of KBLA.store? For the best in new merch, gift ideas, books, media, and more, log on to KBLA.store. Be sure to check out our KBLA team favorites at KBLA.store today. That's KBLA.store for all the official merch on your favorite talk radio station, KBLA Talk 1580.
Have you heard about Lendistry? Lendistry is a national black-led small business lender that is headquartered right here in LA. Once you've started your business, Lendistry provides flexible financing options starting at $50,000 to help you access the affordable capital needed to grow. Whether financing is needed to increase working capital, acquire a business, purchase inventory and equipment, or refinance debt, Lendistry has a solution for you. Lending products range from traditional business term loans and non-revolving lines of credit to SBA 7A loans and commercial real estate financing. Lendistry's pre-application process is simple and does not impact your credit score. Visit lendistry.com/KBLA to learn more and to get started with an application right from the website.
Mom's early Alzheimer's diagnosis was hard to take.
And when I left the oven on, we decided together that it was time to see a doctor and make a plan.
Early detection gave us more time to seek out information and support as a family.
If you or your family are noticing changes, it could be Alzheimer's. Talk about seeing a doctor together. For more information, visit alz.org/time to talk. A message from the Alzheimer's Association and the Ad Council.
Sometimes we lose, sometimes we win. Sometimes we try to fit it all in. Sometimes we don't know what's in store. Sometimes we find what we're looking for. Sometimes we're rolling easy and free. Sometimes 1 and 1 makes 3. So much to love along this ride. That's why Nationwide is on your side.
Nationwide Mutual Insurance Company and Affiliates, Columbus, Ohio.
KBLA Talk 1580. I'm Dominique DePrima from the show First Things First, weekday mornings from 6 to 9 a.m. Join us Tuesday with Los Angeles Mayor Karen Bass. It's Mornings with the Mayor every month, only on KBLA Talk 1580.
KBLA Talk 1580. We've got a lot to talk about.
KBLA Talk 1580 reminding you that we keep us safe. The Center for the Pacific Asian Family was founded to help address domestic violence and sexual assault in the Asian and the Pacific Islander communities. The Center for the Pacific Asian Family's mission is to build healthy and safe communities by addressing the root causes and consequences of family violence and violence against women. They are committed to meeting the specific cultural and language needs of the Asian and Pacific Islander women and their families. CPAF's vision is of an Asian and Pacific Islander community that embraces healthy relationships and works in partnership with other communities to eradicate all forms of violence. To access services, volunteer, or for more info, visit nurturingchange.org. At KBLA Talk 1580, we believe everyone deserves to be safe. This is a community call to action from KBLA Talk 1580.
I have diabetes. I'm at risk for pneumococcal pneumonia.
I have asthma. I'm at risk too.
If you're 19 or older with chronic conditions like asthma, diabetes, COPD, or heart disease, or are 65 or older, you are at increased risk for pneumococcal pneumonia. Ask your doctor or pharmacist about Prevnar 20, pneumococcal 20-valent conjugate vaccine, a vaccine that can help protect you against pneumococcal pneumonia in just one dose. Even if you've already been vaccinated with other pneumonia vaccines, Prevnar 20 may help provide added protection. Prevnar 20 is approved for adults to help prevent infections from 20 strains of the bacteria bacteria that cause pneumococcal pneumonia. Continued approval may depend on a supportive study. Don't get Prevnar 20 if you've had a severe allergic reaction to the vaccine or its ingredients. Adults with weakened immune systems may have a lower response to the vaccine. Side effects include pain and swelling at the injection site, fatigue, headache, muscle, and joint pain. For full prescribing information, please call 1-855-213-2138 or visit Prevnar20.com.
Curating the most compelling stories and delivering them straight to your ears. You're listening to RSVP with Jill Munroe on KBLA Talk 1580.
Listen up, everybody, the bottom line. I'm a black intellect, but I'm refined. We precision like a bullet, target bound. Just living like a hooker, the harlot sounds. Now, when I say the harlot, you know I need the hot.
Okay, with the tribe. Andy's vibing tonight. Let's go. You are checking out hour 3 of RSVP with Jill Munroe here live on KBLA Talk 1580. We're getting into all of these trending topics and headlines. I told you guys there was so much to discuss. Really, really is. You know, you are now in the VIP hour where we have removed the velvet rope. You are behind. You have access. Chair dancing is allowed because I'm a VIP of that if you are watching in the chat on YouTube. So before we get into the YouTuber story we mentioned, I decided to talk about the other Migos. See, Quavo got into a bit of controversy over the weekend. Again, everybody was in Miami having a good time. Rolling Loud was out there. Well, Quavo is allegedly under investigation for manhandling and threatening a Miami yacht crew. So this is what happened. Allegedly, Quavo and his people were out on a yacht. And they were, you know, being a little rambunctious. And the captain and the yacht crew exercised their right to take everyone back to the dock earlier than expected because I guess it wasn't going so well. Well, Quavo and his people, not necessarily him, but someone in the crew, they were upset and they demanded a refund. The captain told them that it wasn't possible and that they should really speak to the broker or booker, whomever arranged for this afternoon on the yacht. Well, Quavo and crew allegedly did not like that, and someone threatened to throw the captain overboard. Well, they're on the water, and technically that is considered a terroristic threat when we're talking about maritime law. So they also took the captain's phone and keys away. Well, somebody got a phone. Somebody got to it, and the yacht crew called the yacht's owner, and the owner of the yacht had the police waiting when they returned back to dock. So it's not clear if someone actually roughed up the captain, but something happened. And so, yeah, now he's being investigated for that. So I hope that everything is cleared up. I hope that nothing really happened. Maybe it was just a simple misunderstanding. We can't continue to have these instances of questionable behavior surrounding our hip-hop artists, especially considering that it hasn't yet been a year since what happened at that Dice game, allegedly because, well, we won't get into allegedly why. We just know what happened, and we lost Takeoff, and Quavo was there, so he's probably dealing with a lot, but we hope that the details of this case prove to be false and it was just a misunderstanding and everybody's cool, right? Right. Okay, so next up, Nene Leakes. We know that the former Real Housewife of Atlanta is in the news a lot, but this time she's speaking candidly about her son, Bryson. Bryson, who's 33, was arrested recently on drug charges, and Nene says that her son has an addiction and he's been struggling for years. She says that when he was found in a car in Gwinnett County in July in Georgia with 3 small plastic bags that contained a white powdery substance. The police provided a presumptive pulse test that it was fentanyl. That's what was released to People magazine. So Nene said that her son needs rehabilitation. He needs a lot of counseling, like many families out there that are struggling with drugs and certain addictions. He's been struggling with it for years. He's been in and out of rehab a couple of times, and he's relapsed. So Nene is saying that she is asking for support, that she knows from experience no one can help Bryson until he wants to be helped. She says as a mom, she just has to watch it happen. Her hands are tied. There's not much that she can do. For people who have children or family members that have been on drugs, they know that they have to be ready. They simply have to be ready. And as anyone who has a loved one with substance abuse issues knows, she said she's become a little desensitized to it over the years. I've spent so much money on trying to get Bryson to where he needs to be, she added. But every time I've sent him off, it's because I've said, you're getting up and you're getting out of here and you're going to get help. But she said what she's learned through counseling is that he has to be the one to say that he's ready to make a change. So not making him go isn't necessarily hurting him, because when she sends him, he still doesn't adhere to it anyway. She explained that he's an adult with a wife and 3 children whom she adores, but she's just numb to the situation. As a mother, I would never wash my hands of my child, right? But I'm kind of numb to it because it's been happening for so long. I'm really just numb to it. So prayers out to Nene. I hope that that situation rectifies itself and that she, can deal with it peacefully. It's a hard thing when your child is going through something and there's nothing you can do to help them, no matter what age the child is. So peace and prayers to them. Much love and good luck with all of that. So now, that YouTuber that we mentioned. So here's the deal with that. There's a YouTuber, his name is Jidon, and he's reportedly been banned from all NBA-related events. And that's because he pulled a series of pranks while sitting courtside at WNBA games that were just out of pocket. Last week, Jadon attended a LA Sparks game that's here in Los Angeles, and he was dressed head to toe in pajamas. He occupied several courtside seats. He laid out across them and pretended to be asleep while the game was happening. He pulled a similar stunt the week before that at the Minnesota Lynx game. So he showed the first time he was given a warning by security. He lied to them and told them that he had a medical condition that requires him to sleep. Listen, why are you trolling the WNBA stars? What did they do to you? What is the point in doing all that? Well, several security guards came and asked him to leave. Outside of the arena, Adams films the security guards and the personnel telling him, "You are not allowed on the premises." Adams asks, because Jadon's last name is Adams, if he's only being banned from WNBA games, and the security guard specifies that he's banned from all NBA events. The NBA hasn't publicly commented on the matter, neither did the WNBA. But, listen, that's not funny. It's not creative. It's not even what is the point in that? I'm sure you seem like a creative guy. You got a YouTube channel. You got followers. I'm sure there was something more creative that you can come up with instead of trolling these women out there handling their business. And oh, by the way, we've talked about it. The WNBA ratings are up. They're rising. Get on the right side of this. Oh, you can't even go to NBA games anymore now. So I hope that got you a lot of views on your YouTube. I hope that it counted for something. When we come forward, we're going to get into a couple of more trending topics and headlines. We have another Drake story. Drake reacted to a member of the hip hop media. He had some commentary for him on what he thinks he needs to be doing. and a couple of other topics to close out the night. You are listening to RSVP with Jill Munroe right here live on KBLA Talk 1580.
RSVP with Jill Munroe is your go-to show for staying in the know. More engaging conversation when we come forward on KBLA Talk 1580.
Hollywood Walk of Fame stars in 2024. Stay tuned to find out who's in next year's class. I'm Aisha Cairo with your K-Black Minute News. A new group of 31 entertainment professionals across film, television, radio, recording, and sports entertainment will have their names etched into Hollywood's history in 2024. One of the most celebrated names on the list was the beloved Chadwick Boseman. Others for the class of 2024 in Hollywood Walk of Fame was this year's Oscar winner Michelle Yeoh in the motion picture category. Other notable names include Chris Pine, Gwen Stefani, Andre, Dr. Dre, Young, Otis Redding, Christina Ricci, Brandy Norwood, Harry Washington, and more. The dates for the star ceremonies have not yet been scheduled. To find out all 31 inductees, visit youtube.com/Walk of Fame.
Ew, gotta get rid of this old Backstreet Boys t-shirt.
Tell me why.
Because it stinks, boys.
Tell me why.
I've washed it so many times, but the odor won't come out.
Tell me why.
No, you tell me why I can't get rid of this odor.
Have you tried new Downy Rinse and Refresh? It doesn't just cover up odors, it helps remove them.
Wow, it worked, guys.
Yeah.
Downy Rinse and Refresh removes more odor in one wash than the leading value detergent in 3 washes. Find it wherever you buy laundry products.
Meet Joe A, Joe B, and Joe C.
What's up?
3 everyday Joes perfecting their banking with Chase. Joe A is locking his lost debit card with the Chase mobile app. Joe B is cruising toward his new ride with AutoSave. And Joe C's Chase banker is helping him budget to go back to school. Tools that help protect. Support for what's next. One bank that puts you in control. Visit chase.com/checking. Chase. Make more of what's yours.
Chase mobile app is available for select mobile devices. Messaging and data rates may apply. JP Morgan Chase Bank, N.A. member FDIC.
KBLA Talk 1580. We've got a lot to talk about.
KBLA Talk 1580 joins you in standing for education as a right, not a privilege. Charles R. Drew University of Medicine and Science is a private, non-profit, community-founded, student-centered university committed to cultivating diverse health profession leaders who are dedicated to social justice and health equity for underserved populations. CDU does this through outstanding education, clinical service, and community engagement. Recently, Charles Drew University made history by opening only the 5th medical school at an historically black university. Congratulations, South LA, and congratulations to the dean of the medical school, Dr. Deborah Protho-Stith. CDU is now training doctors and providing $90 million in annual economic benefit to Watts and surrounding neighborhoods. To apply for medical school, get more information, or sign your child up for the Junior Doctors Saturday School program, visit cdrewu.edu. That's cdrewu.edu. At KBLA, we are dedicated to equity in education and ending healthcare apartheid. And we don't black down. This is a community call to action from KBLA Talk 1580.
Now back to more captivating conversation on RSVP with Jill Munroe.
Hey VIPs, you are checking out RSVP with Jill Munroe here on KBLA Talk 1580. Thank you for rocking with us. We so appreciate it. I told you we had a packed show tonight, and we still aren't finished. So we talked a little bit about Drake earlier, but Drake is also making headlines because there was some commentary. Don't know if you've seen some of the video floating around social media. There are clips that have been popping off of an interview that Drake did with a young lady named Bobby Althoff. I think I'm pronouncing her last name correctly. Bobby is a YouTuber, podcaster, and her style is very dry, kind of sarcastic, and so her clips with Drake have been going viral. I'm not sure if the whole interview is dropped yet. However, Elliot Wilson, who has been in the hip-hop game for a very long time, he is media. I believe he used to work at one of the big magazines. Can't remember if it was Source or Vibe or XXL, but he's been around for quite a long time. I believe he has an Apple show as well. So he mentioned how hard it is now, it seems, for the top talent in hip hop to come and speak with the OGs of hip hop media, right? And so I guess over the weekend, maybe he stepped into Rolling Loud, Elliot Wilson, that is. He had a conversation with Trippie Redd. And so academics made a post about it, and Drake decided that he wanted to slide off under the post. So what happened was Elliot, again, was mentioning how interesting it is that Drake rarely does interviews, and when he does, it's with people not of the culture, right? Because where did Bobby even come from? I think she was kind of like a mommy blogger before she signed with, I believe it's CAA. I'm not sure which agent she signed with, but she just signed a big deal not too long ago, and now she has interviews with Drake and Lil Yachty. So Elliot left a comment, which he later deleted, and said, I was more so clowning the comedy and shenanigans with outsiders to our culture. It would be great to hear Drake speak to us again, even if it ain't me. Well, for whatever reason, Drake felt like Elliot was, not being completely honest. So he left a comment under Academic's post that featured Elliot talking to Trippie Redd. And Drake said, laughing out loud, man defecates on not coming to his platform for a second time, and now Elliot is 10 toes down doing Yes Jules. Yes Jules is a popular promoter in Miami. There's been some rumors as to who she is or is not connected to. The rumors actually started with supposedly people saying that LeBron James put her on and whatever with that. But anyway, Drake continues with his message to Elliot. Just admit that the youth took over, big dog. So I thought this was kind of interesting because while I do think it's fair, and I think obviously the media landscape is changing, there are new voices coming in that people want to hear from that connect differently. It doesn't just have to be the same people that we have heard speak time and time again, year. We obviously want to hear some new conversations, but it is an interesting point because how often does Drake do interviews and who does he choose to do them with? I wonder if he would have given this same opportunity to a young black female podcaster. The interesting thing about this interview, if you've seen clips from it, is that it's, again, kind of a joke interview. They're in bed chatting, with wine. At one point, in one of the most recent clips that's released, Bobby asked Drake if she's his type. And Drake's like, yeah, I'd hit it, basically. And she's like, I hit it. So they go into this whole thing. But I just wonder if that had been a black female journalist asking that question, what would the reaction be? Would people have considered it as funny, or would they consider it that she was thirst trapping, throwing herself, not being professional? You just wonder these things. And you also wonder how Drake decides who he's going to talk with. Because, again, I'm sure there are some young hip-hop podcasters, women, men, new voices in the movement that would love to have a conversation with Drake, but they'll never get that opportunity. So I don't know whose side I'm on. I just think that in addition to the new voices that are there, it would be nice if these artists actually reached out and talked to them, not just when they're popping elsewhere and it's a good look. Give back to the culture in that way too. Support them because somebody supported you when you were coming up. So our next story of the night, and our last one as we wind down, revolves around Young Miami and her group mate, JT. City Girls up 1,000 this summer. Are they? Maybe. Anyway, once again, this is something that stems from Rolling Loud. So JT performed at Rolling Loud this weekend, and she took Young Miami's son. Young Miami's son is 6 years old. There was a video that was online that featured the boy backstage with with JT and others, and he was throwing dollars on strippers. So of course, social media had a commentary. They're wondering, what's up? Is this responsible? Is this the best behavior? Why is young Miami allowing her son to be in this type of environment? And what type of example is JT setting by bringing him to this type of situation? Well, Miami was having none of it. Carisha basically said, my son at Rolling Loud having a ball backstage. Let's address it. That's why I don't post my kids. Y'all B-words can talk to your sore in the mouth about me, but I'll never give you a chance to have an opinion on my kids. IDGAF. So fans advised that Miami could have just ignored the commentary, but she said, I'm in this. So what's up? JT added in that she takes her Miami's son to Rolling Loud every year. His name is Jay. Me and Jay do Rolling Loud together every year. It's my favorite time because I get to bond with him and turn up. This was the best year. I love to put the smile on his face. And young Miami added, thank you so much. That literally brought tears to my eyes and reminded me that every time that this is bigger than us. Jay said that was the best day of his life. Thank you, Jatavia. And he loves Uzi. JT also took a moment to say that Jay got to, or is it Jai? Might be messing it up. It might be Jai. Got to a chance to meet some of his favorite celebs, including Twitch streamer Kai Sin. So, again, people have the right to choose what they want for their children and what they are allowed to be exposed to. His parent is a rapper. So I'm assuming at 6, he's seen some things like this before. I don't know. I think that, Miami has to expect some commentary. She's been getting commentary, a lot of commentary for almost the past year now for her relationship choices, things that she said on her podcast. And unfortunately, that is going to extend to your children when you're in the public eye. And you know this. And I understand that you feel like it's none of their business, and it's not. But when you're marketing your lifestyle to the audience, they're going to have a comment on everything because they feel like they're a part of it. So good luck to that. Shout out to young Miami. Shout out to JT. I'm glad that, they had a good time and that the young man felt like it was the best day of his life, and it wasn't because he was throwing dollars. It was because he got to meet his favorite Twitch streamer. Well, thank you for rocking with RSVP tonight. As always, we appreciate you. Let me give you a little tease for what we have coming up tomorrow. Tomorrow, we're going to talk a little bit about Doja Cat. She has been battling with her fans back and forth on social media. Doja doesn't seem very happy. She doesn't seem to like her fans very much. She's upset at the nickname that they've picked for themselves. She's really upset at the commentary that they have about her alleged boyfriend. We're going to get into all of that. We're also going to talk a little bit about the story that went down over the weekend with Jess. Hilarious. We're going to talk a little bit more about Samuel L. Jackson and how the film Malcolm X almost caused him and Spike Lee to fall out. We'll have all that and more for you tomorrow. Thank you for rocking with us tonight, VIPs. You have access always. Make sure that you are locked in tomorrow night, 9 p.m. to check out RSVP with Jill Munroe live on KBLA Talk 1580. When we come forward, you will hear the best of KBLA. Have a good night.
Good at bad if you look good at bad if you look good at bad if you look good at bad at bad
act bad act bad
at bad
act bad act bad.
KBLA 1580 Santa Monica.
We thank you for joining us